Hello, I'm Donna Bush. Today is Saturday, April 20th, 1991. We're in Rapid City, South Dakota, doing the Living Family album grandparent video interview with Elizabeth Magdalene Youngworth Kummer, who is my maternal grandmother. Elizabeth Kummer was married to Anthony Frank Kummer. Tony died in 1979 in Parkston, South Dakota. They were married for 53 years. Elizabeth is a retired homemaker who lives in Parkston, South Dakota. Elizabeth and Tony had 12 children. Anthony Joseph Kummer, born August 8, 1928. He lives in Mitchell, South Dakota. Elizabeth Ann Kummer Dagan, born October 24, 1929. She lives in Rapid City, South Dakota. Norman Lewis Kummer, born March 1, 1931. He lives in Parkston, South Dakota. Florian Francis Kummer, born July 31, 1932. He resides in Parkston, South Dakota. Teresa Colette Kummer Biggie, born July 4, 1934. She lives in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Louis Emil Kummer, born June 30, 1937. He lives in Omaha, Nebraska. Marlene Ida Kummer Olson, born May 18, 1939. She lives in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Joanne Kathleen Kummer Haig, born July 28, 1941. She lives in Mount Vernon, South Dakota. Dorothy Elaine Kummer Ozak, born October 9, 1942. She lives in Visalia, California. Dwayne Kummer, born November 28, 1944. He lives in Mitchell, South Dakota. Danny Kummer, born January 1946, who died when he was only 2 hours old. And Carol Jean Kummer Long, born October 24, 1947, and she lives in Omaha, Nebraska. Elizabeth has 48 grandchildren, 3 of whom are deceased, and 38 great-grandchildren as of April 1991. Elizabeth is 4 feet tall, 4 feet 11 inches tall. She weighs 78 pounds and has brown eyes and silver gray hair. To give you an idea of what's going on in the world at the present time, here are 5 headlines from today's newspaper, the Rapid City Journal, Saturday, April 20th, 1991. Dallas, South Dakota woman wins round 1 as judge rules Iona Klein can collect the first check worth $630,000 of the $12.5 million lotto jackpot. Soviet Union and South Korea agree to new economic core with multi-billion-dollar national gas development. FBI investigates local law enforcement for excessive force charges. Cement plant still fighting to burn hazardous waste. The federal deficit totaled $40.85 billion last month, down 23.4% from March 1990 because of foreign contributions to defray the costs of the Persian Gulf War. It has been nearly 2 months since the end of the Persian Gulf War. Most of the U.S. troops are back home, receiving a hero's welcome from the nation. Although the war is over, much unrest remains in Iraq. Authorities estimate that 800,000 of Iraq's 4 million Kurds fled to the mountains along the Turkish border following an unsuccessful revolt against the Iraqi government of Saddam Hussein. Republican George Bush was sworn in as the 41st President of the United States on January 20th, 1989. Although he had most of the nation's support during the Persian Gulf crisis, it's still too early to tell how he will compare to Ronald Reagan, who left the polls with very high approval ratings. Most Americans are optimistic about their own lives, but worried about the future of the country. It is a time of great advances in technology, but also of skepticism about technology and its side effects. The average American is living a longer, healthier life than ever before, but there seems to be a lot more things to worry about as well. Illegal drugs and drug-related crimes are destroying our cities and threatening our youth. International terrorism is claiming the lives of innocent people. Our public schools are declining in quality. The middle class is said to be disappearing, with the rich getting richer and the poor getting more numerous. Homeless people are roaming the streets in increasing numbers. Even though at about $1 per gallon, gasoline costs much less than 5 years ago, some analysts are predicting another energy crisis for the 1990s. The pollution of our environment seems to be getting worse, with the possibility that a greenhouse effect will overheat the Earth and the chemicals will destroy the ozone layer, which protects us from harmful ultraviolet rays. We seem to be in the early stages of an epidemic and an incurable disease called AIDS. Summing up, it seems to us that we are living in a time of peace and relative prosperity, but with many problems to overcome. Well, good morning, Grandma, and welcome. We're so happy to be doing this interview with you today. I'd like you to state your full name for us.
Elizabeth Ann Kummer.
Okay. Grandma, is there anything special or unusual about the way you were named?
My mother's name,
Your mother's name was Elizabeth?
yeah,
Okay.
it was Elizabeth, and then she died, when I was born.
Okay. All right. Where and when were you born, Grandma?
In Zell, South Dakota.
Zell, South Dakota.
Z-E-L-L, little
Okay.
bitty town. And then about real early in the morning,
Okay. Do you remember the year you were born? What year you were born?
1905,
1905. Okay. So that makes you how old right now?
85,
85.
and I'll be 86 in July.
Okay. Grandma, do you have any brothers and sisters?
You bet, I had 6 of them.
Okay. Do you remember their names?
Oh yeah, Matt, Louis, and Ed. Then there was Lena and Agnes, and you remember the other one.
Okay. Are any of your brothers and sisters still alive?
Nope, they're all dead and gone.
You're the last one. Okay. Grandma, what are your parents' names? Do you remember your parents?
Ray and Elizabeth.
Okay. And where and when were they born? Do you remember?
Oh, in Germany somewhere, but then that's beyond me.
Okay. Do you remember when they came over to the United States?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I wasn't even in the picture yet.
Okay. What were your parents' occupations? Grandma?
Farming.
Farmers? Okay. Grandma, did you know anything about your grandparents? Nothing at all that you can remember?
Nothing at all that I really know of, because I was only 2 years old, or I wasn't even quite 2, when they moved me to Dimmock, South Dakota.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Can you tell me anything about your family further back than your grandparents?
mm,
Quite a long time ago, wasn't
you
it?
darn right, that's a long time ago.
Okay. Grandma, what's your nationality or your ethnic origin?
Well, I'm American.
Okay. Your parents came from Germany, though?
Mm-hmm.
Were they both full-blooded German?
I have a hunch. I don't really know.
Okay. Grandma, is there anything else that you can share with me about your family history? Any unusual events or famous people?
Not really. Just lived on and on.
Okay. Is your family well known for anything that you can remember?
Nothing special.
Special. Okay. Grandma, I'd like to have you think back to your earliest memory, to the earliest thing that you can remember. How old were you and what was going on?
Well, I know we moved out to Meade County from Dimmock.
And how old were you then?
Oh, about 4, or 4, something like that, or 5 at the most.
Okay.
And then, too, I couldn't even talk English yet then, but it didn't take me very long to learn it either.
So your parents both spoke German? Okay. Do you remember any German now?
Oh, I still remember it. They don't sell me in German.
Okay. What else do you remember about the time before you went to school?
Well, we lived in a sod shanty, I know that, till they built the house with rocks.
Okay. And that was where?
Oh, that was way back in 1908 or something like that, or 9.
And was that in Dimmock or
That was in Parkston.
in Parkston? Okay. Where did you live when you were little, and what did your house look like? Is that sod shanty the first thing you remember?
First thing I remember. Then we lived in that big stone house.
Okay.
They had such a time to keep me from running up and down them steps. That was so much fun to run up and down them steps. Then I made it anyhow.
Okay. Grandma, did you go to school before elementary school?
Oh, you bet. We went in a little bitty house, a little bitty sod shanty, I think it was. And then we just had, there was a lot of kids that were kind of grown up or that went to school there too. Of course, I was about the littlest one.
How old were you? Do you remember?
Oh, maybe 5, 6 at the most.
Okay. And where did you go to elementary school?
We never went.
Okay. But this little school that you were talking about, this was where?
That was in Meade County.
In Meade County?
Yeah. And then there was Teresa, that was my cousin. She had to go along with him because I couldn't go alone that distance to go to school alone.
Okay.
So I just went for a while there. That didn't last very long.
Okay.
Just a kind of a short through the summer.
Okay.
And then before, I don't know how long it took before I really got to go to a school.
You were a little older then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then, too, we'd go to school for a while. Maybe the teacher just don't have that long to go to teach. She'd be moved on. Then they'd get somebody else. Off
Kind
and
of
on.
changed teachers a lot back then.
Did they ever?
Okay.
Well, toward last there we had one. We had her quite a while. Really nice.
Grandma, I'd like you to think back to an incident in grade school or during those first early years of school that you remember well. And tell me what was going on.
Nothing important that I would know.
Okay. Do you remember any of the kids or anything that you used to go to school with, or walking to school, or any memories back then that you can tell us about?
Used to walk to school all the time.
How far were you from the school?
Oh, half a mile or something like that for a while.
Okay.
Then they moved on. Then it was further to walk a little bit, but it never bothered me. Of course, you were young in them days.
Okay. Grandma, what are some of the other vivid memories about your elementary school years that you remember? Anything back then that you can remember about, that you can tell us about?
Nothing too extraordinary.
Okay.
We just went to school in the morning, came home at night. That's the way it went, day in and day out.
Okay. How were your grades in grammar school?
Oh, they varied quite a bit. Till the 8th grade when we took our final exams.
Mm-hmm.
There was just about 5 of us. It was just 5 of them, you know. That was in 8th grade. That was quite a deal already. And then we had to wait 2-3 months before we got our returns.
Mm-hmm.
I was really shocked that I made it.
Okay. But you did make it.
Yeah.
You got through. Okay. How did you spend your summers during grade school?
Just running around the farm, you know, old ranch is what it was.
Okay. And were you at Parkston at this time then? Living in Parkston during grade
Yeah.
school?
I suppose it was. No, that was out in Meade County.
In Meade County. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just playing with the other kids? Did you have chores to do around the farm?
Well, we had chores, but I don't think they bothered me any.
Okay. Did you have any pets when you were little?
Well, we had cats and dogs around.
Do you remember any names?
Oh, with Bill and Bob, I know.
Bill and Bob, were those cats or dogs? Or?
Dogs
Dogs. Okay.
were real mean, too.
Okay.
Kind of mean. They never bothered me, but they would bother somebody else that would come.
Okay. Grandma, while you were growing up, did you have any sense of whether your family was rich or poor?
Didn't bother me a bit.
You didn't really think about it too much?
We had our times, you know. Maybe it wasn't so good at times, but we made it through anyhow.
Okay. What would you say now about your family's economic circumstances when you were growing up, comparing it to nowadays?
Well, I don't really know. They all,
Would you think you were rich or poor, or?
we just never gave that a thought.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Just went from day to day, huh?
Just what?
Were you happy as a young child?
Yeah, we was. Yeah, we had the whole wild world ahead of us and never worried about anything.
Okay. Grandma, what would you say about your relationship with your parents?
Well, you see, I never learned to know my mother or my dad, really, because we was quite a ways apart.
Okay.
So, didn't really know much about them.
Okay. Now, tell me about your mother. She died when you were just a very young... baby?
Died when I was born.
When you were born.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And how about your father?
He died about, oh, I know it was 20 years later, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
He had a ruptured appendix.
Okay.
He wasn't just so terribly old either.
Okay.
But he didn't make it.
And did you live with your father then after your mother had died? Who did you live with when you were younger?
My uncle and my aunt,
Did you?
John Youngworth.
Okay.
See, that's the reason there was two Lizzies. One big, I was a little Lizzie, and the other one was the big Lizzie, because she was about 10 years older. Because that's where I had to go after my. See, I went by my foster mother first. I stayed there for about a year and a half.
Okay.
But she had such a big family of her own, she just couldn't handle them anymore. So I came to Denmark and lived.
And you lived with the Youngworths then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Grandma, we're going to talk about high school years a little bit. Where and in what years did you go to high school?
Never even thought of high school.
Okay. So the last grade that you finished was 8th grade then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you remember any incidences around that time of your life when you were high school age? Can you tell me what was going on in your life at that time?
Oh, we just went to school from day to day. We never worried about anything, you know, worry-free.
Okay. And when you were high school aged, were you living with the Youngworths still? Were you on
We
a
never
farm?
went to high school, never thought of such a thing.
Okay. What were you doing at that time? Were you just working or on the farm?
I just
or?
worked around the place, helped take care of the stuff around.
Okay.
See, my aunt was pretty older, much older than what ordinarily, you know, so I had to help quite a bit in the house.
Okay.
Then later on, after I got older, I rode horseback lots. Then I took care of the cattle and the place around too quite a bit.
You did all that, okay. Do you remember any of the kids that you used to hang around with during that time of your life?
Some, yes, there was a couple families. We all worked together. Usually every Sunday we'd have to meet in the afternoon.
And what did you do?
Oh, we would just play around, talk, I suppose. In wintertime we'd slide down a big hill.
Okay, all right. Do you remember any of those kids' names today yet?
I do. I don't remember their married names, but then I know them by. It was Selma and Elma and Helen.
Okay.
And Henry.
Do you still keep in touch with any of those folks, or are they?
No, that's a long, long time ago. I don't know if any of them are even living anymore.
Okay. Did you have a favorite sport back then?
Nothing special.
Okay. You like to ride horses, though?
Yeah, we rode horses.
Okay.
That was the biggest deal out there. If you had a horse, you was all right. If you didn't, you walked.
Okay. Do you remember your horse's name?
Yeah, we had Tony and what was the other one? Oh, I just don't remember them all.
Okay. Now, was that your horse or?
Oh, it was, everybody rode, you know.
Okay. Kind of a family horse, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Grandma, I'd like you to think back to the first boy that you ever seriously kissed. How old were you and what were the circumstances?
It's kind of a joke. There was one boy, he was younger than me. He always said he was going to give me a kiss before school was out. Well, the last day of school, he popped up and kissed me.
Okay. How old were you?
Oh, about 13, 14, I suppose,
Do
15.
you remember this boy's name?
Raymond
Raymond? Do you know his last name?
Glover, I guess.
Raymond Glover, okay. Grandma, did you attend any type of a prom or a senior dance back when you were high school aged?
We used to go to dances, have party dances.
Okay.
We had a lot of fun then.
And can you remember any of those dances that you used to go to? Can you tell me what they were like?
Oh, there was the two-step and all that, you know, and what was that, where they all circle?
Square dance?
Square dances. Yeah, we liked them.
Did you like to dance?
I loved it.
Okay. Do you remember any of the guys that you used to date back then or the people that you went with?
We didn't date anybody. We just all was one family.
Just went as a group?
Yep, all had about the same gang, and we'd go to these dances.
Okay. Grandma, if you could have changed one thing about your high school years when you were that age, what would it have been?
Never gave it a second thought.
Okay. Just went along and were pretty happy at the time, huh?
That's right.
Okay.
I thought I was too busy to have time to go to school.
Okay. Now, what was going on in your family during your high school years? Do you remember what your family was doing and where they were living and all of that?
Well, I knew my brothers and sisters. They all got married, you know, and I guess they were all married by the time I got married, too, so.
So you were younger then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma, did you take any family vacations back then?
Mm-mm. Never had time.
Okay.
Didn't have the money either.
Mm-hmm. What were you doing in the summers? What would you do to pass the time in the summer?
Oh, we had a lot to do. All the raise chickens and take care of the cattle and work around the place.
Okay. Grandma, how would you sum up your childhood and adolescence?
About what?
How would you sum up your childhood?
Just went on and on. Never stopped to think of anything special.
Grandma, we're going to talk about, shift gears and talk about World War I and the Great Depression of the 1930s. What impact, if any, did World War I have on your family?
There was a couple of them that had to go to the war, and then one of my cousins was killed, and he lived in Montana, I think. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what happened to the other one. I guess he came through all right. That is in my family. Mm-hmm. But nothing extraordinary. A lot of them died with that flu deal, you know. The flu was so terrible in that World War I. Oh, they just died like flies.
Okay.
It was really bad.
Did anyone in your family have the flu?
No, they had it, but then they got over it.
Okay. Grandma, what impact, if any, did the Depression have on your life and your family?
Oh, we never thought about depression at all. We just figured it, we just took it would come. Take it or leave it.
So you were living on the farm then and just...
You bet. We lived on a farm. Okay. A little bitty milk and what we done, and the eggs what I gathered. And
So you got through it pretty well.
Yeah, we managed.
Okay.
Tony worked on WPA.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, that was rough. Had a pair of mules, and he would drive them. They worked at a kind of a bridge, you know. Okay. But they made it. Okay. That didn't pay out very much either, but then it kept a little bit coming in anyhow. Okay.
Okay, Grandma, next we're going to talk about the subject of education. Did you attend college or vocational school at all?
Not any of that. That was just grade school is all as far as I ever thought about going.
Okay. Now, about military service, did you ever serve in the armed forces? Okay. Mm-hmm. Grandma, let's talk about World War II. How old were you and what was going on during World War II?
I need to remember. I actually don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember anything that was going on in your life around that time?
Don't know anything. Don't remember anything.
Did you have any sons that were in the war?
You bet. I had 4 of them in.
Okay.
Sonny was the oldest one. He you know, just went on his own. But then well, the farming wasn't anything either. And then Tony had a lot of trouble, so he had to have surgery for this and that. It all counted up to. So he just went and enlisted in the service. Well, he was gone about 3 years. Okay. We were in Germany and all over. Then Norm was called next. And then after that, Freund went in. Mm-hmm. That's the way it went on.
Okay,
Then Dwayne.
Okay, and then Dwayne.
Dwayne graduated. He enlisted too.
Okay. What? I'm sorry, go ahead,
It's
Grandma.
all right. See, Dwayne is the one that stayed in then for to be an anesthesiast with this here. He was in, well, in the service with,
Grandma, what impact, if any, did World War II have on your life? With all your kids in the war and...
well, I don't know if it was World War II or which one it was that they were all in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of worries.
They all made it through and made it
They
back,
all did.
though, didn't
They all
they?
made it back. I got their pictures of them.
Okay. How was, what was your life like with the other kids at home during that time?
Oh, we had all so busy taking care of the place, doing this and that, milking the cows and doing all that.
And at this time, you were living in Dimmock or Parkston?
Parkston.
In Parkston, on the farm?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Grandma, let's talk about your adult life just a little bit. When did you leave home and under what circumstances?
Well, I used to work out. I worked for different people.
Okay.
I was a hard girl, you know, all over.
And that was when you were how old? What age were
Oh, I
you?
was about 20-something.
Okay. And were you still living with the Youngworths at this time?
With my aunt and uncle.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Now, when you left there and were working at these other homes,
No, I just worked from place to place, wherever they called me.
okay, and what did you do?
Oh, we scrubbed floors and did dishes and cooked and regular housework.
Okay.
Even milked the cows, too, for this one family.
Okay. And when did you meet Grandpa? When did you meet Tony?
Oh, that was quite early, because I had worked for his sister, his two sisters.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Grandma, where did you live during your adult life? Most of the time, were you living in Parkston and Dimmock area?
Parkston.
Okay. Okay. And Grandma, between the time that you left home and were working for these other people,
I really never left home. I just more likely stayed at their places when they called me.
Okay.
I lived with the family, otherwise I would walk. If it was close, I would just walk.
okay. And when did you meet Grandpa then and get married?
Oh, someplace in there.
Do you remember how old you were when you met Grandpa?
I must have been 20-some, 21, 22.
Okay. And then you got married and got your own farm and lived in Parkston?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Grandma, let's talk about your career. What was your first job after you left home? I guess you said you were working for these other folks doing
I
cleaning
just
and all
you
of
did
that?
the regular housework.
Okay.
You did dishes, you cooked, you took care of helped them take care of the chickens and everything mixed up.
Did you enjoy that?
Oh yeah, I thought it was a regular routine.
Okay. What about your career as a homemaker have you found the most satisfying?
Was raising the family.
And quite a family you had, right?
Darn right. I think 12.
12
Well,
children.
one of them died, at birth, but the rest are all still going.
Okay. Grandma, what about your career as a mother would you like to have done differently?
Well, I don't think I had any choice at all. Never gave that a thought.
Okay. You're pretty happy with your life and your kids?
You bet. We had to be. I just took it for granted.
Okay. Grandma, are you now or were you back then famous or well known for anything?
Nothing unusual.
Nothing unusual?
Everybody was in the same boots,
Okay. Not even being well known for all those chickens you used to cook for all those kids?
We used to fry chickens we used to pick the corn and can it,
Mm-hmm.
Canned 100 quarts one day. Boy, the house was just really wet with sweat from all the steam,
Do you still like to do any canning?
No, I wouldn't give 2 cents for it now.
Okay. But you enjoyed it back then, huh?
Yeah, we were so glad to have it.
Okay. Grandma, let's talk about political views for just a moment. When was the last time you voted in a presidential election?
That was a long, long time ago.
Okay. The last election with Bush, you didn't vote in that one?
No.
Okay.
I wished I would. I would never voted for him.
Is that right? Okay. Grandma, are politics important to you?
They were at that day, maybe, more or less, you know.
Okay. Can you tell me why you wouldn't have voted for Bush?
I just didn't care for him at all.
Okay.
I'm a Democrat,
Okay.
so I just didn't go for that stuff at all.
You would like to have seen a Democrat instead
Yeah,
of a
that's
Republican.
what I
huh?
wanted.
Okay. Well, let's talk about marriage for just a moment. What's your husband's full name? What was your husband's full name?
Anthony, what was his name? Anthony Frank, I guess, Kummer. Anthony Frank Kummer.
Okay. And Grandpa or Frank, Anthony died when? Do you remember when Grandpa died?
I don't actually remember the years. Your mom should remember that
Okay.
better than me.
I think it was back
You
in.
see, we lived with his dad for a while, but he died about a year or so later.
Okay.
He thought, we had Sonny when he died. He thought the world and all of him. He was so happy when
And Sonny was
when
born.
he was
huh?
born. He wouldn't let us take him along when we went someplace. He would put him in the crib alongside of his bed and take care of him.
You liked him, huh?
Did he ever?
Let's talk about Grandpa here for just a moment. Where and how did you meet Grandpa? Do you remember?
Well, I worked for his sister, you know, of course.
Okay.
And then he had a heart condition. And he pretty sick for a while. Then he finally died.
Okay. Now, when you first met Grandpa, do you remember like your first dating experience? What you did on your first date?
No,
Okay.
we never went anyplace, I don't think. We just had to work and work.
Okay. Do you remember what your courtship was like at all with
Just-
Grandpa?
Nothing unusual.
Did you used to go dancing? I know you like to dance.
You bet you had to go with horse and buggy.
Okay.
Unless it was in town, we could just walk down.
Okay. So you met Grandpa and you were living at Parkston at that time then?
You bet I lived in Parkson all my life.
Okay. And you used to go to some dances and...
Oh, we thought them dances were just all it.
Okay. And Grandpa liked to dance too?
Yeah,
Okay. Anything else you used to do when you used to date?
nothing unusual.
Okay. How long after you met did you get married?
Well, I know we got married in July,
Okay.
and then I don't really remember.
Do you know how long you dated before you got
Oh,
married?
about 6 months maybe or something like that.
Okay.
I knew him all the while though, you know, because back and forth, you know, with working for his sisters.
Okay. And then in the 1970s, then Grandpa died, and you've been just plugging along ever since.
I sure don't remember the year.
Mhm.
It's about 11,
it was-
12 years ago.
Mhm. I think it was 1979,
That was it.
wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. What would you say is the most important thing about choosing a husband?
About what?
What's the most important thing to you about choosing a husband?
Well, I enjoyed farm work, you know. I was going to stay on the farm.
Okay. If you could give us young kids some advice about choosing a husband, what would it be?
Well, somebody that would be honest
Mhm.
and really like to work and do all that kind of chores around the house, around the place.
Okay. Grandma, in what ways has marriage turned out when you and Grandpa were married? In what ways did your marriage turn out to be different than you expected it to be?
Nothing unusual. Just lived along, you know, as it went along.
Too many kids to take care of to think about
You
it too
bet.
much?
We sure had the family to take care of.
Okay. So you were pretty happy being married to Tony, to Grandpa?
I guess so.
Okay. Let's talk about children for a minute. Where and when were your children born? Do you remember all your kids' names?
I remember them all.
Okay.
We always had them at home, you know, had an old lady come in, and the midwife and the doctor. And then up until about the 7th or 8th one, then I had to go to the hospital.
Okay.
They figured from then on I went to the hospital every year.
Okay.
Every year, almost.
It was when you had 12 children, wasn't it?
You bet.
Can you list your kids' names for me? Do you remember
Oh, yeah.
them all?
Anthony, then Elizabeth, that's Mom here.
Uh-huh.
And then it was Norman,
Mm-hmm.
and then Florian,
Okay.
and then Therese,
Okay.
and then Louis,
Uh-huh.
and Marlene,
Mm-hmm.
Joanne, Dorothy, and I mentioned Louis, didn't
Uh-huh.
I? Yeah.
And
And then
Carol
was,
the youngest, wasn't she there?
Dorothy,
Mm-hmm.
and who was the next one?
Carol.
No, Dwayne.
Oh, Dwayne and then Carol, huh?
Hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And Carol was your youngest then?
Hmm.
Okay.
She's 40 some years old now, but still going on high.
Okay. Grandma, I'd like you to think back to the day your first child was born. I guess that would be Sonny.
You bet.
Okay.
It was Thrashers. We had the Thrashers.
Okay.
July, you know.
In July. Okay. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, it's just nothing unusual, you know. I just expected it to be like that.
Okay. Were you pretty happy to have a new son? And
You bet.
okay. It's pretty hot. Do you remember?
Was it hot? Phew. About 106 or something that day.
Oh my goodness. And he was born at home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Boots was too.
Okay.
And then they just had very little time when Boots was born. She came so fast, you know. It just got there and it was bing, bing, and it was all over.
Okay. Grandma, what are some special memories that you have about raising your children?
Well, I don't remember anything special. We had a kind of a hard time making ends meet once in a while, but we made it.
Okay.
See, they gave free lunches that time in school.
Okay.
That was a nice help for Boots and Sonny both when they went to school.
Okay.
Hmm?
Grandma, what's the best thing about children?
Oh, you enjoy them, you know, running around.
Keep you pretty busy?
Darn right.
What's the most frustrating thing about children?
Well, I really don't really know. Just took it all in stride, you know.
How about disciplining them? Is that
When they were naughty, they got it. I give them a patch on the butt or something like that, or you know, that's all they get.
was that frustrating for you to have to discipline?
No, didn't bother me. They just straightened them out and went
They're
on.
pretty good kids, it sounded like.
They weren't too terrible.
Okay. What's it like to be a grandparent?
Well, that was Boots's oldest boy, you know, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was proud of him.
That was your first grandson. Okay.
Hmm.
And
We all thought the world and all of him till he died.
he was only about 6 months old, I guess, when he died.
Yep.
Okay. And then after Tommy, then it would have been Dave. Is that right? Your next grandson?
I don't really know.
Okay. Can you tell me some other things about being a grandparent? Is that different than being a parent?
Well, just nice to see them come and bring them, you know, and
Have them come and visit?
yep.
Okay. Now, Grandma, we'd like to move on to a different subject area, that of interests. We're going to talk about travel a little bit. Do you enjoy traveling?
Used to like to go with the car and pick up people, you know, and go here and go there. We went to California a couple times.
Did you? To see family, or?
Well, we had a couple of like Louis and Carol along with us the second time I went.
Mm-hmm.
And visited people out there.
Did you like California?
Not too well.
Why not?
I don't really know, but then it just wasn't home, you know.
Uh-huh. Too many people, maybe?
No, the people never bothered me, but then I was just, you know,
Fun to go, but fun to come home?
yeah, I guess.
Okay. And how about now, coming out to Rapid City? Do you enjoy coming out here?
You bet. I didn't know I was coming till about when I was ready to go in the car. I had thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
but then, you see, Diane, that's Dwayne's wife, she didn't like to see him go alone either because he likes to fall asleep when he's driving. Nobody to talk to or anything. That way we had sandwiches and a pot of coffee and got along real good.
Good. Grandma, what would you say has been your greatest adventure thus far?
I don't really know if anything great. We sold our old farm, and then we bought this one where we lived when Tony died.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was quite a price we paid for it too.
Mm-hmm. That's
Then after Dad was gone, of course, one of the boys took over the farm.
Okay. Let's talk about interests and hobbies. Do you have any interests and hobbies? What do you like to do for fun nowadays?
Well, I did a lot of fancy work. I did a lot of crocheting for a while, embroidering dish towels and such like that, and towels and all that.
I remember for my wedding, you made us some pillowcases.
Did I?
Yes, you did. That was some beautiful work that you did. Do you still like to do the needlepoint?
No, I don't. My eyes aren't good for that anymore. My hands either.
Okay, but years ago you liked to do that. Okay.
Well, I'd say up till midnight to do some.
Okay, and what other hobbies or interests did you like to do?
Raising chickens on the farm.
Okay, and you used to do some canning back then, back when you were younger.
We canned beef, and all that. Yeah.
Okay. Grandma, do you belong to any organizations right now?
Well, the Catholic Church, of course, that's the main one.
Okay.
And then the Altar Society
Okay.
is another one.
Those keep you kind of pretty busy?
You bet. And then not anymore now. I used to do this and do that, but I don't do it anymore. And then, too, it was, we used to years ago, to help along with all these big things, what we would have, big suppers and all that. I'd always help along.
Okay.
Always had a job to do.
What did they put you in charge of? Anything and everything, or
You just worked.
okay. Helping with things and cooking and all of that? Okay. Okay, Grandma, we'd like to take stock for just a moment. At this point in time, has your life turned out as you imagined it would?
Well, I really can't really say. I never thought I was going to live this long.
Okay. What things have turned out differently than you expected?
Well, nothing different, just that I had my own apartment there in town right around the post office, really close. And then that was about it till I got sick. I don't know. Then they put me in that home,
And how are you doing there now?
I don't like it.
You don't like it. But you're getting stronger every day, and maybe you'll be able to...
Oh, I guess I'm making it, but then I wasn't really too sure. They wouldn't let me stay alone. They was afraid I could never make it.
Right.
So
Well,
I'd fall down, who would know where I was at.
But you look like you're getting along pretty well now, and you're getting stronger and stronger. Maybe you'll be able to go back home.
Well, I can get along without a walk or anything like that.
Good. Okay. Grandma, what has been your greatest accomplishment thus far?
I really can't really say. I seen the kids all got married. They were all pretty well off, and we got married.
I would say having 12 children is a pretty big accomplishment.
I think it was.
Yes, I would have to say that would be a good one.
One day like the other, this and that one day and something else the next.
What has been your greatest disappointment or frustration?
The war, I suppose, didn't like that. But then Sonny enlisted, and then Norm was next. They called him right away then, too. Wasn't long. That's the way they all had to go.
If the war is never a good time in anyone's life.
They all came back anyhow. That's what's one blessed thing.
That's right. Okay, Grandma, what's the most important thing in your life right now?
Get back into my old apartment.
Okay. And I think you will.
I wonder.
I think you will.
I hope so. I'm hoping, but then I don't know if it's going to happen or not.
Okay.
But that's one thing.
You're reaching for it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Grandma, what would you have done differently in your life if you knew then what you know now?
I have no idea of anything special.
You had a pretty good life, you feel?
Wouldn't say it was too terrible bad.
Okay.
Oh, we had a lot of ups and downs. Didn't have any money and all that, but then we were all in the same boots.
Okay. You can't think of anything that you would have changed if you could have changed something?
Well, really nothing.
Okay.
Kids all had their homes and got married and all that, yeah. All had pretty good going.
Good. Grandma, let's talk about your goals right now. What thing do you hope to accomplish next?
I really don't.
I guess maybe you just answered that for me before when you said you wanted to get back into your apartment.
Yeah, that's it.
That's probably your biggest goal right now?
It is. If it's going to work out or not would be another thing.
Okay. If you could do anything that right now that you wanted to do, what would you do?
I have no idea.
Maybe take another trip to California?
No?
No?
I didn't care for California at
Okay.
all.
What, can you think of anything at all that you would like to
We
do right now?
used to go up kind of west. We used to go west a couple of times to visit Aunt Ann up there, my sister, and all the other relatives. We had enjoyed that very much.
If you were able to do some other traveling right now, is that what you'd like to do? Or?
No, I'm not out for traveling. Just to come out here, visit Booth. I hadn't seen her for a long time. Well, not that I knew of anyhow. She was there when I was sick, you know.
Right.
But I didn't know what was going on. I would talk. I don't know what I was talking about.
Okay. Let's talk about some predictions. What do you think will be the major world events in the next 10 years?
Is there going to be a world war left by that time anymore?
I don't know.
I either.
Yeah. We sure hope not.
Yeah, let's hope.
Grandma, what are the most important things that you've learned about life thus far?
Oh, nothing too special to it. That was too out of the ordinary.
Sounds like from your life maybe hard work and honesty?
You bet.
Okay. Let's talk about your philosophy of life. What do you think your philosophy of life is?
Well, to live good and go when you want to and all that, you know.
Okay. Grandma, what role does religion play in your life?
Quite a bit.
Okay. You mentioned before that you're Catholic.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Have a pretty strong belief.
You bet.
Okay. Grandma, give me some examples of right and of wrong.
Well, I didn't like to see them go overboard with anything, but they all tried it out anyhow.
Your kids?
Yeah.
Okay. Grandma, we are at the end of nearing the end of the interview right now. In the next part, we're going to be asking you for some advice about future generations of your family. First, what advice do you have for your great-grandchildren in the area of getting an education?
Well, if they're going to make something of it, it's all right, unless they're just going to just be farmers. I guess they don't need it.
Okay.
What I figured.
How about advice about choosing and managing their careers?
Well, you have to just live according to what you can afford, you know.
Okay. Pick something that you like to do, maybe?
Well, I suppose, mostly. Well, some of the grandkids, you know, they really go overboard with their jobs, you know. They raise pigs and all that, and hogs and chickens and all that, you know.
What advice would you have for them about that? Do you think that's a good thing or not a good thing?
It's all right if they can make money on it, that's all that counts.
Okay. What advice do you have for them about money?
Well, not to go overboard.
Okay.
just do what they can handle, you know.
Do you think that money is important?
To a certain extent.
Okay. What advice do you have for them about love and marriage?
Well, if they like somebody, it's all right. Not just for the sport of it, all that, but to get married and love somebody is a good deal.
Okay.
Raise a family.
Okay. And how about raising their children? What advice do you have for them about raising children?
Didn't do anything special at all, just lived from day to day.
Okay. No great advice that you can give us for raising our kids?
No,
Okay.
nothing special.
Okay. Grandma, probably all future generations of your family will watch this tape. Since you have the opportunity right now, what personal message would you like to give them?
It's quite a deal.
If you had a personal message to give your great-grandchildren and your future generations, what would you tell them?
Golly, I never thought of that.
You have any advice for them at all?
Maybe too much. Well, most important was what, take any more on than you can hack, you know.
Okay. That's good advice.
You bet.
Grandma, we're at the end of the interview. Is there anything that you'd like to say to complete things? Please take as much time
I'd like
as
to
you
see
like.
the kids all have make a career of everything what they try to do.
Okay.
Like Dwayne, you know, is anesthesiast, and Sonny, he graduated. He worked for, he did a lot of hard work in his day. Boy, he really worked hard. So they all did as far as that goes, yeah. It's the way it is.
You're pretty proud of your kids then, huh?
You bet.
Okay.
All pretty nice kids, too.
Yes. Well, thank you, Grandma. This concludes our interview today, and I'm glad that you could come out to Rapid City and do this with us.
Isn't that something? I never knew anything about it until I got here.
Well, we're glad that you could come, and we're glad that you were able to do it with us. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks a lot.
This concludes our interview with Elizabeth Kummer. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please stay tuned for ABC's World News Tonight, April 20th, 1991.
From ABC News, World News Saturday, here's Carol Simpson.
Good evening. Declaring the Allied mission complete, the commander of Operation Desert Storm, General Norman Schwarzkopf, today left Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, his headquarters and home for the better part of a year. So many people are expected to greet Schwarzkopf when he gets back to Florida tomorrow morning that officials are asking the public to stay home and watch the event on television. ABC's Pierre Salinger has more on the general's send-off from Saudi Arabia today.
He has moved from war to history. The 56-year-old general about to retire, with his brilliant leadership in the Gulf War, has reached the 20th century heights of Generals George Marshall, Dwight Eisenhower, and Douglas MacArthur. Despite his joy at heading for home, he said he was sad to be leaving Saudi Arabia.
I shall truly miss Saudi Arabia. I will truly miss the many, many friends that I have made here.
At a ceremony in Saudi Arabia's defense ministry, General Schwarzkopf was given Saudi Arabia's top award, the first foreigner to receive it. In turn, he gave his colleague, Lieutenant General Khalid bin Sultan of Saudi Arabia, commander of the 130,000 Arab troops during the war, the American Legion of Merit, on behalf of President Bush.
I have often said that if the world is to have a superpower, thank God it is the United States of America.
When General Schwarzkopf was asked after the ceremony how he felt about Saddam Hussein still being in power, he didn't hide his feelings.
I am disappointed at this time that that is the situation.
He was also clearly disappointed about charges that the early end of the war created the Kurdish problem.
To somehow imply that because we did not continue for one more day of the attack, that the rebellion did not succeed is bogus.
General Schwarzkopf, now better known as Stormin' Norman, had spent 257 days running Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm. creating the exceptional military plan of going around the Iraqi troops. Tonight, he arrived in Cairo to thank the Egyptians for the role they played in the Gulf War. Tomorrow, he goes home to Tampa, Florida, back to his family, back to his nation that considers him a genuine hero. Pierre Salinger, ABC News.
Saddam Hussein is meeting with Kurdish leaders who say Saddam agreed to discuss all Kurdish concerns except secession. The main concern right now is the desperate plight of the refugees. A congressional delegation from Washington is now visiting the Turkish-Iraqi border, as ABC's Bob Jamieson reports.
Refugees clustered around the congressional delegation, asking for more help from the United States.
Are they well, sick?
Led by New York Democrat Matthew McHugh, the delegation was told the young and the old are sick and dying. 90,000 people are crowded into this camp in a mountain valley above Çukurca. As in the others on the Turkish border, there is not enough food or water. The delegation said it would ask Congress to quickly appropriate money for more aid.
It's heart-wrenching. It just convinces me that we in the United States and the entire civilized world has to get in here in every possible way to try and help these people.
Some of the refugees were reluctant, however, to accept other help from the United States, new camps near their homes in Iraq. We will not go back, they told the legislators, if the United States doesn't provide security. At the same time, U.S. Special Forces units began deploying inside the camps along the Turkish border. By Monday, they will assume responsibility for organizing and cleaning them. The Army's first task is to improve Allied airdrops of food, tents, and clothing. They fall at a distance from the center, meaning the fittest get there first, denying the weakest nutrition and shelter they desperately need.
The problem now is one of organizing the supply distribution to make it more efficient and more effective. And I think that's where we can make the biggest impact.
The Army will not immediately provide medical teams, which some officials say should be the first priority. The body of one of the refugees who died today was carried past the delegation. That prompted one member to say, what's needed now is not Operation Provide Comfort, as the administration calls it, but Operation Life Support. Bob Jamieson, ABC News, on the Turkish-Iraqi border.
After difficult talks with Israeli leaders yesterday, Secretary of State Baker seemed to make more headway today in meetings with Arab leaders. Baker's trip is an effort to win support for a regional Middle East peace conference. He met with Palestinians in Israel, then saw King Hussein in Jordan, before going on to Cairo. ABC's John McWethy has more.
At the Jordanian beach resort of Aqaba, Secretary Baker met with King Hussein. It's the first time Baker has ever been to Jordan, and it signals a new willingness on the part of the Bush administration to forget that King Hussein sided with Iraq during the Gulf War. Though the king did not say yes to sitting down at a peace conference with the Israelis, he did say he had an open mind.
In what makes one a better Arab to sort of stay out of it and say that I'm a better Arab because I'm not involved? No. People should talk.
Baker was asked about Israel's continued construction of settlements on Israeli-occupied Arab land.
We disagree with that policy. We see settlements as an obstacle to peace.
Israeli settlements were very much on Baker's mind because earlier in the day in Jerusalem, he met with a delegation of Palestinians from the West Bank and Gaza. To let them know the U.S. public is aware of the settlement's problem, he took the unusual step of showing them a videotape of a news story by ABC's Dean Reynolds. It showed how a settlement built just this week on the West Bank forced a Palestinian farmer off his land.
Show me the bill of sale, he demanded. Your road is on my land. The Israelis only laughed.
After the Baker meeting, the Palestinians agreed this session with the secretary was different.
It looks like there is some progress. We are cautiously optimistic. We think that there was more concentration on substance rather than abstract ideas.
Baker is now in Cairo, though he is still waiting for answers to his proposals for compromise to the Israeli government yesterday. He will, in his words, keep plugging along, asking Arab governments for similar compromises. John McWethy, ABC News, Cairo.
The Kuwaiti Prime Minister today named a new cabinet, changing almost every key post. He ousted several high-level ministers, including the Minister of Oil. Just last week, he announced his intention to hire companies from around the world to help put out Kuwait's oil fires. There are no prominent opposition leaders among the new ministers. Coming up, using mouthwash may be hazardous to your health. A mysterious computer glitch is confusing pilots of some major airlines. And later in this broadcast, from down in the depths, coming up rich.
World News Saturday, brought to you by ITT Corporation.
We built this business
to give you vision, style,
built this business
to help entertain you.
We built this business to build your freedom.
ITT built these businesses into leaders. We built them by taking care of people.
We built this business. We built this business to build your dreams. Built this business.
Somebody put these Harvest Crisps in the wrong box.
Delicious.
Right, so what's a delicious cracker like that doing in a box that says low fat, no cholesterol?
Beats me.
I mean, if Harvest Crisps are so good for you, how come I can't stop eating them?
I don't know, hon.
I love them.
A lot of you insist on eating wheat thins and oat thins because they taste good. But the whole idea behind these crackers is that you can eat them without feeling guilty. That's why they're baked, not fried. I mean, eat them because they're delicious, and you miss the whole point.
A new study by the National Cancer Institute has found gargling regularly with some popular mouthwashes may increase the risk of cancer. The mouthwashes under suspicion all contain significant amounts of alcohol. Our medical correspondent, George Strait, explains.
Scientists have long known that drinking alcoholic beverages increases a person's risk for developing a number of cancers, including cancer of the mouth and throat. Now it seems that liquids with relatively little alcohol in them also can cause trouble. The new study implicates about a dozen mouthwashes which contain 25% or more alcohol. Listerine, for example, contains 26.9%. Scientists have found that men who gargle or rinse daily with these mouthwashes high in alcohol have a 60% higher risk of developing throat and mouth cancer. Women have a 90% higher risk. While the cancer risk posed by some mouthwashes is significant, the author of the study says it is important to keep it in perspective.
Smoking and drinking heavily results in about a 3,000% increase in risks of cancers of the mouth and pharynx, in comparison to about a 60% increase in risk associated with mouthwash in this particular study.
Dr. Blott says until more research is done, people should not throw away their mouthwash, but they might consider using a product lower in alcohol. Mouthwash manufacturers say they will have to study the new research to determine if any action needs to be taken. They maintain that the research is preliminary and that mouthwashes are safe. George Strait, ABC News, Washington.
Air traffic controllers say a new computer system designed to help planes avoid collisions may actually put them in danger. The system, called TCAS, has caused pilots to see ghost planes coming toward them when in reality the way was clear. As Jim Slade reports, it's already led to at least one near miss.
The pilots of a United Airlines 727 approaching Chicago O'Hare dived Thursday morning when the system warned an airplane was coming at them. Controllers say there was nothing there, but that the dive headed the jet toward a real plane below. They were steered back to safety. Controllers say this incident was recorded near O'Hare on March 31st.
Our TCAS is telling us we were going to have a mid-air collision, so we descended out of 11, but we don't see any traffic.
That's because there is no traffic. Maintain 11.
Amazing.
The controllers report other incidents near Washington, Denver, and New York. If the traffic alert and collision avoidance system senses another plane's transmitter coming toward it, it flashes a warning. If the other plane keeps coming, the system tells the pilots to dive or climb to avoid a crash. The controllers say the problem is the pilots are doing what the system says before checking with the ground.
What we may have here is a total anarchy in the sky, where pilots can climb and descend, turn, whatever, without authorization of the controller.
Transportation Secretary Sam Skinner insists there's no real problem.
At no time in the incident yesterday or in previous incidents have we violated the separation rules.
We haven't had anybody collide with another airplane yet, but if this equipment, the way it's currently operating, continues to stay in the system, we may very well in the future have a mid-air collision caused by this equipment.
Federal law requires all airlines to install the basic TCAS system by November 1993. An industry source told ABC News there is fear that the system is being installed before it's ready. Jim Slade, ABC News, Washington.
In a moment, is Israel losing business illegally to its Arab neighbors?
Time to head out, time to find something new. Not the same old town, and not the same old food. Something exciting, or maybe we'll slow down the pace. But one thing's for sure, it's not the same old place. Best Western, not the same old place. Best Western, with a long brand new face. Oh, Best Western, it's not the same old place. Best Western.
Over 1,800 Best Westerns each reflect the flavor of their individual towns, so you can stay in a place that's as individual as America itself.
Oh, Best Western, it's not the same old place.
Best Western, as individual as America itself.
I'll never get through tomorrow if I don't get some Z's.
Introducing single-dose maximum strength Nitol. Just one will help you fall fast asleep fast. New maximum strength Nitol. Just one Nitol will help you get a lot of Z's.
How'd you get those flowers in there? Glade potpourri, it freshens the air. Where'd you get them herbs and spice? Glade potpourri, it smells so nice. No one potpourri's like Glade.
And now there's new Glade Potpourri Pump. The freshness of potpourri now in a pump. Spray it, shake it, or pump it.
No one potpourri's like Glade.
Now's the time for Centrum Silver, because you're over 50 and you're out there swinging. Centrum Silver, a complete vitamin formula for your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver, it's a great time to be silver.
When Baxter International, a hospital supply company, holds its annual meeting Monday in Chicago, stockholders will have to deal with a company immersed in allegations of bribery and breaking the law. The controversy mixes market strategy with U.S. foreign policy. Alan Frank has just completed an ABC News investigation of the story.
For nearly 2 decades, Arab countries refused to buy hospital supplies from Baxter Travenol because the company had a factory in Israel. The company spent millions of dollars in a failed effort to penetrate the Arab market through Saudi Arabia. Then in 1986, Baxter began negotiating to build a medical plant for the Syrian military. In 1988, while the deal was being negotiated, the company sold its facilities in Israel. And a year later, the Syrian government persuaded the Arab League to remove the company, now called Baxter International, from the blacklist. Federal investigators in Congress are now examining whether Baxter violated U.S. law to get off the Arab blacklist.
It is a very bad practice for any company which solicits business with the Arab countries to get that business at the expense of boycotting Israel. That's unfair, against U.S. law, and that law ought to be very vigorously enforced.
The law prohibits American companies from breaking off business with Israel to meet Arab boycott demands. It also forbids companies from providing any information about business with Israel to Arab League members. Yet in a letter to the Syrian army, Baxter's top lawyer wrote, "We have no connections with Israel or Israeli subsidiaries whatsoever." Richard Fuse is a former Baxter Travenol executive.
The goal of Baxter Travenol was to get rid of the Israeli plant and to do whatever was necessary to be removed from the boycott list in Damascus.
According to Fuse, whatever was necessary included bribery of Syrians. Fuse and an American intelligence official have told ABC News that Baxter made payments of $1 million or more through intermediaries to Syrian officials, including Defense Minister Mustafa Talas. Fuse says he was fired after he refused to bribe a Saudi official, a claim the company denies. Marshall Abbey, a top Baxter official, says the company did nothing illegal to get off the boycott list.
All I can tell you is I can state categorically that there were no improper payments made here at all to anyone.
A Syrian military spokesman says the charges are part of an Israeli effort to discredit Syria in the United States. Baxter insists an investigator it hired found no wrongdoing, but the company refuses to make that investigator's report public. Alan Frank, ABC News, Washington.
The United States has agreed to establish in communist Vietnam a temporary office. It would be the first official U.S. presence there since the Vietnam War ended in 1975. The office is being set up to resolve cases of American soldiers still believed missing in action or prisoners of war. When we return, Ray Gandolf looks at an NBA coach who knows what it takes and knows what to give.
Throughout history, great barriers have been discovered and built. Heart's Blockade for dogs and cats is one of them. Used as directed, Heart's Blockade creates an invisible barrier protecting your pets from fleas and ticks before they get a chance to live on your pet. Heart's Blockade repels and kills fleas and ticks, including ticks that carry Lyme disease, reducing the chances of causing discomfort to your pet. Helping to improve your pet's quality of life is your responsibility. Helping you do that is Heart's.
Did you know the cost of 2 business calls from these Detroit mechanics to Atlanta may surprise you?
Vintage cars are my specialty.
With AT&T Long Distance, your small business can get AT&T quality at extremely competitive prices.
I treat cars like people.
Even though the other company would like you to believe,
See ya.
they always save you lots of money.
That's all I save? Drives you crazy, doesn't it?
Competitive price, another AT&T advantage.
The same medicine found in the prescription drug Motrin. The same medicine found in the prescription drug Motrin.
Same as in Motrin in non-prescription strength.
The same medicine found in the prescription drug.
Did you ever notice that a lot of pain relievers seem to be saying the same thing? Well, if you want the same medicine found in the prescription drug Motrin, wouldn't it just be simpler to ask for Motrin IB? Non-prescription strength Motrin IB. You can't buy a more effective pain reliever without a prescription. Motrin IB. Accept no alternatives.
Here in Jupiter, a beef stir-fry takes less than 5 minutes and a steak takes less than 10. The people of Jupiter call this weightlessness. Beef, real food in Jupiter, Florida.
Do yourself proud, make you look beautiful, do it for yourself with Minwax and Wood.
Get beautiful color with Minwax Wood Finish and lasting protection with Minwax Polyurethane.
So do yourself proud with Minwax and Wood.
Now let's go to Ray Gandolf in New York for a look at an NBA coach who cares enough to keep his distance and today's sports highlights. Ray?
Thank you, Carol. Old George Foreman had all the right answers last night, except the big one. He could not recapture the heavyweight championship of the world. Fat and 42, Foreman proved that he could go the distance with the champion Evander Holyfield. He took Holyfield's best shots and never went down. For his part, Holyfield, faster and more fit, was too elusive a target for ponderous George. He kept chipping away, wearing Foreman down, but was unable to put him down, and at the end, having won on points, he had only kind words for the valiant challenger.
He proved that at 42, if you got that heart and desire, and plus you have the Lord on your side, you know, there's no doubt about it, you can go out there and put up a good contest.
Well, if you look at the NBA box scores, the Chicago Bulls still look like Michael and the Jordanaires. But this season, they have been a good deal more than that, thanks to the gentleman, the gentleman who leads them. Winding up his second full season as head coach, Phil Jackson is the quietest bull in the pasture. He is part scholar, part father figure, part big brother. And he has led these boys in men's bodies to the second best record in the NBA.
So they're still growing up, and we have to treat them in a way in which they know that we respect their manhood, but yet we know they're still growing.
He sort of let me go out and just play on my own and, and just see what type of player I am and see how far will I go, will I hang myself. And I think I'll control myself as a player pretty well.
have to have Scotty play loose and free because that's what he is. He's got a lot of freedom, and when he is loose and free, he plays so great.
Pippen able to penetrate.
Maximizing Scottie Pippen and the other Bulls without minimizing his megastar Michael Jordan is perhaps Jackson's greatest achievement.
A lot of young players. He makes them relax and play the game of basketball and try not to make them think so much. He's been able to keep a coach-player relationship, which is very tough in this game.
He's kind of a philosopher a little bit. When we go on long road trips, he gives us books. He tries to relate our season to the themes of movies sometimes.
Phil Jackson learned the game as a role player for 13 years in the NBA, 11 with the good old New York Knicks. Good training for the man who has become a master juggler of egos and, dare we say it, an inspiration.
Instead of going up this way, go down that way. What I've tried to do is I've tried to keep it family. That's one of the things that I've tried to come across, that this is more of a human endeavor between people. I like to say it's kind of gestalt, you know, the whole's more than the sum of the parts, you know. You just can't put parts together and say that's the whole Chicago Bulls. We have a chemistry.
The chemistry has never been good enough, with or without Michael Jordan, for the Bulls ever to win a championship. They've never even played in a final. But if they should happen to win it all for Phil Jackson, be assured of this: it won't go to his head. His father saw to that.
He always had on his desk this little plaque, wooden plaque, with his figure of a balloon head and little teeny ballet shoes on the bottom of his feet, and it said, you know, the bigger your head gets, the easier your shoes are to fill.
And be assured that Phil Jackson has a normal-sized head and wears very big shoes. Carol?
Thanks, Ray. When we come back, the sparkling recovery of a stormy past.
I love steak. I mean a big porterhouse.
Delay.
I like it very nicely medium.
Rare.
The sound is like... Wait. It's not done. Now.
It's done.
Done.
A1 is how steak is done.
We built this business
to help you relax and unwind.
Built this business
to bring water to your home.
We built this business to build your life.
IGT built these businesses into leaders. We built them by taking care of people.
We built this business. We built this business to build your dreams. Built this business.
I'm David Brinkley. On our This Week program Sunday, why are the schools failing our country and what can we do? We'll ask our new Secretary of Education, Lamar Alexander, Sunday.
And finally this evening, perhaps it was destiny that brought them together, a determined hunter who refused to give up, and a beautiful treasure that sank out of sight well over 200 years ago. As Mike Von Fremd reports, patience does have its reward.
In a homemade aluminum ferry boat, Bob Jordan has searched for sunken treasure in the Florida Keys for 30 years. He's had more than his share of hard luck. The 61-year-old Jordan has battled other treasure hunters on the high seas and in the courts, often coming out on the losing end. But now, working with his family, Jordan's ship has come in.
The rosaries, to me, and the religious artifacts are the most beautiful things you can find on a shipwreck.
They are also some of the most valuable. The 8 rosaries, the gold rings for nuns, and all the treasure in this room that belonged to the passengers and crew aboard the Spanish ship San Fernando are believed to be worth millions of dollars. The San Fernando was one of 22 Spanish galleons to sink in the Great Hurricane of 1733. Because it went down in shallow water so close to shore, most everyone assumed that all the treasure had been salvaged long ago. Everyone except Bob Jordan.
This ship broke up so bad and scattered so far across the ocean floor until the areas around here, you have to really work them carefully.
Jordan works the ocean floor in this area known as Coffin's Patch in 60-foot sections.
You have that feeling inside of you, just a feeling that tells you where to go and how to look.
Right now, Jordan is looking for a piece that is small enough to have been swallowed by a fish, a gold cross that is missing from one of his 8 rosaries.
Well, it may be the proverbial needle in the haystack, but we're going to take that haystack apart until we find it.
It's been down there for over 258 years, and Jordan figures it's about time somebody brought it up. Mike Von Fremd, ABC News, Marathon Key, Florida.
And good luck to Mr. Jordan. That's World News Saturday. Later tonight, watch Jack Smith on the Weekend Report. I'm Carol Simpson. Good night.
From ABC News, this has been World News Saturday.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Saturday, are they damsels in distress?
Our knight in shining armor.
Or female assassins?
Cody!
The Young Riders. Then, from the mind of Stephen King, one man on a mission of evil.
My destiny.
The other out to stop him. Christopher Walken and Martin Sheen, The Dead Zone, Saturday.
It's springtime in Kota Territory, and this week, Yard and Garden Week on KOTA, your favorite news team looks at all aspects of gardening and landscaping in the Black Hills. We'll seek out the experts, the real green thumbs of the area, and show you why gardening is such a rewarding, enjoyable pastime for people of all ages. Here's to a more beautiful Black Hills. Yard and Garden Week on Kota Territory at noon, 5:30 and 10. Brought to you by the Yard and Garden experts at Jolly Lane Greenhouse and by the Silk Flower Boutique.
There are 2 sides to every story. Hear them both on It's Your Business.
We need tougher laws, and we need a more comprehensive approach.
We have some pretty good laws on the books. We just have to enforce them.
I'm your old Kummer. Join us each week as our panel of experts tackles the tough issues that hit close to home, from taxes and the federal deficit to crime and punishment.
Make it your business to watch It's Your Business.
Sunday morning at 10:30. Programs seen on KSGW TV 12 Sheridan are also seen on K06JM, Channel 6 in Gillette.
The West. Why is San Diego's police department killing more people than any other law enforcement agency? Joe Oliver reports.
They said that he had resisted arrest. And that's the reason why they shot him.
He shot him because he believed that the suspect was going to shoot and kill.
And Vicky Liviakis introduces you to a Western family fighting to save their land from the government.
We were all in the service in World War II. And it's just hard to believe that there while we was in the service, they was taking our land, and they intended to keep it.
Plus, John Gibson takes us to what used to be hell in paradise in the Hawaiian Islands. On this edition of The West, the news magazine of the West.
Welcome to The West. I'm Joe Oliver. Something's gone wrong with Western justice, and the evidence is there for all to see. In Los Angeles, what begins as a routine traffic stop ends with a violent beating. While in San Francisco, highway patrol officers use riot batons against passive protesters. In each of those confrontations, the citizen lived to testify. But further south in San Diego, people have not been so lucky. On a per capita basis, San Diego police are killing people at a greater rate than anywhere else in the West, more than 4 times the